Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are diving deep into one of the most critical skills in our digital world, data literacy. We'll explore what data literacy means, why it's vital, and why data professionals need to master it first. Along the way, we'll cover some key topics like the types of data, common problems with data, how to curate effective problem statements, and how to analyze data properly. Whether you're new to data or looking to sharpen your skills, this video will give you a solid foundation. So, let's get started. What is data literacy? Data literacy is your ability to read, understand, and communicate data effectively. Think of it as the ability to read data like a book and write stories with data, stories that will help you make smarter decisions. Data literacy is important for everyone, but especially for data professionals and people that work with data like data analysts, data scientists, data engineers, and business intelligence specialists, also known as BI analysts. They need this skill as a base to work with complex data confidently. To be data literate, you need to understand the different types of data you might encounter. There are different types of data, but here are the main types. Quantitative data, things you can measure or count. Numbers, measurements, counts, examples, sales figures, temperatures, or website visits. The examples are endless, but these are just a few. The second is the qualitative data. Descriptive information like opinions, colors, or textures. This includes survey responses or customer reviews or customer feedback. Structured data. This is data organized in tables or databases. Easy to search, easy to filter. Example is the popular Excel spreadsheet. Unstructured data. This is data with no fixed format, like emails, images, audio, or social media posts. Time series data. Data collected over time, like stock prices or website traffic daily counts. Finally, categorical data. This is data that can be sorted into categories. For example, gender, male or female, region or product types. Knowing your data type helps you choose the right tools and method for analysis. As long as you work with data or a data professional, there are some problems related to data that you will encounter. Data comes with challenges, so here are some common problems you might face. Data quality issues. You might have missing values, errors, or inconsistencies, and this can lead to unreliable results if not properly handled. Bias and misrepresentation. Data might be biased based on how it is collected or presented, and this can lead to unfair conclusions. Another problem is volume overload. Too much data can be overwhelming and hard to shift through sometimes. Misinterpretation. You see, without data literacy, people might draw wrong conclusions from the same data. Hence, the emphasis on being data literate. If you know you have plans of working with data or you're a data professional, it is important that you are data literate. Another problem is security and privacy risks. When you store and share data improperly, it can lead to misuse or breaches. Understanding these problems helps prepare you to handle data carefully and also handle data responsibly. As a data professional or someone who is going to work with data, Before analyzing data, you need a clear problem statement. This sets the focus and defines what you want to achieve or what you want to solve. So here's how to create a problem statement. The first thing to do is identify the goal. What do you want to achieve? For example, you want increase in sales or improve customer satisfaction. So when you identify the goal, this will help you understand the tools and visualization you're supposed to use. It also help you understand the type of analysis you need to carry out. So this is very important. So you need to identify the goal first. The second is ask specific questions. You need to be precise. Instead of saying how to improve sales, you can ask which products have the highest sales potential in this month or in this quarter. So you need to ask specific questions. You need to ask the right questions. The third point is understand the context. You need to know the environment. You need to know the stakeholders. You need to know the constraints. This is very important. Define metrics. Okay, so decide how success will be measured. For example, percentage increase in sales or customer retention rates. How will success be measured? Another one is keep it clear and concise. Make sure anyone reading it understands the purpose quickly. Because your audience might not be data literate. Okay, so you have to ensure that, you need to explain and keep it simple and clear, and make sure that even someone with zero or little data literacy skill will be able to understand what you have just done. So keep it clear and concise, okay? A well-defined problem statement is going to guide your whole data project and it's going to keep your analysis focused. So you need to understand how to create a problem statement. Now, on to analyzing data. This is the core skill for turning raw data into insights. Here are the main steps. Collect and clean the data. Emphasis on clean the data. You gather data from reliable sources and clean it. If you don't clean your data, you might have wrong conclusions. So you need to clean your data. You clean it by handling missing values, removing duplicates, and correcting errors. Another step is to explore the data. So here you can use summary statistics and visualization like histogram, scatter plots, and box plots to understand patterns, to understand outliers, and to understand distributions. In videos I'll be posting later, I'm going to introduce you to some of these visualization. Next step is choose analytical methods. Depending on your goal and what you want to achieve, sometimes this might be simple averages, it might be correlations, might be regression, or more complex machine learning models. But it all depends on what you want to achieve or what your goal is. Then you interpret results carefully. Here you need to consider real world relevance. You need to go beyond the numbers there. You have to consider possible biases. You have to also look at alternative explanations. Okay, consider real world relevance here when you're interpreting your results. I need to interpret your results carefully. Finally, communicate findings. Here you use visuals and clear language to tell the story of your data so that your audience or so that your stakeholders understand what you mean and they can act on it. Sometimes Your stakeholders may not be data literate. Do not assume that they understand what you are saying. So you need to make sure that you communicate in a clear language in order for your stakeholders, in order for your audience to understand what you just analyzed. So data analysis is iterative. You may revisit early steps as new questions and challenges arise. As you move further, you realize, okay, new questions might come up and new challenges may arise. So data analysis is iterative, it's not static. So why should data professionals prioritize data literacy? Why should data professionals learn data literacy? Data literacy is the foundation for every data role because one, it helps professionals understand the data fully before jumping into tools and algorithms. This means that before using any data analysis or machine learning tools and applying complex algorithms, professionals must first deeply understand the nature, the quality, and context of the data they are working with. So, data literacy is important. Another point is it enables effective communication with non technical stakeholders. This means that it allows data professionals to convey insights and findings from data analysis in ways that people without specialized technical knowledge can understand and use. Sometimes your stakeholders may be non technical people, so it is important that you communicate clearly and in a language that they understand. Another point is it minimizes errors and misinterpretations that could lead to costly mistakes. So, this means that by thoroughly understanding and managing data, data professionals reduce the chances of mistakes or incorrect conclusions that can have serious financial or operational consequences. So it's important that you are a data literate in order to avoid misinterpretations and in order to minimize errors in your data analysis. Another point is it builds trust in data driven decisions. This means that when data and its analysis are reliable, when it's transparent, and when it's understood, your stakeholders and decision makers have confidence that the decisions based on that data are sound and justified. So you don't give yourself a bad name, you don't give your brand a bad name. So when you're data literate, it builds trust in data driven decisions. Finally, it supports continuous learning, which is essential in the fast evolving data field. So data field is constantly changing, and a strong understanding of data and a data driven mindset can encourage skill development and continuous learning, which is critical in this data field that is constantly changing. So the importance of data literacy cannot be overemphasized. And mastering data literacy first makes all other data skills stronger and more meaningful. So, as a data professional, as someone who has future plans to become one or to work with data, it is important that you are data literate. To summarize, data literacy is your essential skill to understand and work with different types of data. Yes, depending on any of the data roles you want to venture into, it is important that data literacy is the foundation. Data comes with challenges like quality issues and bias, so being literate helps you spot and solve these. Yes, like I discussed earlier, there are data problems that you encounter when you're working with data. So it is important that you are data literate to help you recognize these problems and solve these problems. A clear problem statement keeps your work focused and effective. When you have a clear problem statement, it will enable you to understand the goal, how to achieve the goal, which tools to use to achieve the goal. So having a problem statement, not just a problem statement, a clear problem statement helps your work focus and effective. Strong data analysis combines clean data, suitable methods, and clear communication. Yes, it's important that you clean your data appropriately. This will help you have appropriate insights and findings. Data professionals should prioritize mastering data literacy as their foundation. Yes, data literacy should be the foundation of every data professional or anybody working with data. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Let me know in the comments how you use data literacy or any challenges you face with data. This is Learn with Glory Gandu. Until next time, keep learning and stay curious about data. Bye.